This episode is brought to you by the Weather Channel app. Did you know the app can help you forecast more than just the weather? With allergy tracking and flu risk mapping. So you know when to stay inside and load up on podcast. As well as air quality and UV indexing. So you know when to get outside, load up on sunscreen and podcast. Forecast more of what you love with the Weather Channel app.
Hi, my name is Travis McVeigh. I'm an anesthesiologist from Dallas, Texas. I host a podcast called Thank You Notes at Ars Longa Media. Showing gratitude to people just makes me feel good, and I want to share the practice of thank you notes with everybody who listens. I write thank you notes to people and then bring them on the show to read it to them. Past guests have included my high school teachers, my friends, other physicians, and a couple of internet celebrities. I will also be doing episodes that explore the science behind gratitude practices to demonstrate to everybody the actual tangible benefits of practicing gratitude. Listen everywhere you get podcasts and check out the extras on my social media accounts. Thank you for listening.
Support for today's podcast comes from Audible.com. You can get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial by going to InsideTheBoards.com/audible. Don't give up being a reader just because you're in medical school. With over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or other device, you can listen to the books that you don't have time to read with Audible.
Welcome to the Inside the Boards podcast, the podcast dedicated to helping you learn to think like a question writer so you can study smarter, not harder, and succeed in medical school. And now here's your host, Patrick Beeman.
All right, we're back with part 2 of our Sketchy Medical series with Bryan and Aaron Lemieux. In this episode, they discuss how Sketchy was founded as a company, how their commitment to helping you succeed in medical school manifests itself, and what Sketchy's future plans are to help you continue your journey of success in medical school. Stay tuned to the end of the episode to hear more about our Step 1 Study Smarter series and how you can win this episode's giveaway thanks to the folks at Sketchy. All right, let's hear a little more about you guys. So where did you guys go to school? Where did you train?
So this is Bryan talking, but
Or is it?
I know. I just realized it's going to be hard. It's going to be so hard to tell. I went to med school at UC Irvine with Andrew and Saud, the other two co-founders, and graduated last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And then Aaron, you can go ahead.
So I went to UCSD med school, and we graduated at the same time because we applied at the same time. We almost went to the same med school, but we stayed kind of close to each other in Southern California, which is close enough.
SD is San Diego for the out-of-state kids.
UC San Diego. And then the short story of us graduating.
You guys were born at the same time too, right?
I was a little earlier, but it was actually a full 20 minutes, so they had like a subway break in between or something. I'm not sure what happened there. That's a long time. But the short story for us, really dedicating our lives to making this product really good and working on it every day, and delaying residency for now, or going to residency, is that our dream anyways was to open up a practice together. And this is like our little practice. Like we just recently opened up a physical location in Los Angeles, and we get to work with each other every day. And Bryan might be thinking right now, like, oh, that was like the worst part of this job, was working with you. But it's kind of like my dream.
That wasn't my dream.
Exactly. But that was really a dream come true, is to be able to open up this practice in quotation marks with Bryan and really help so many people just in a different way. Because we're just always so attracted to art and like literature. And we found ourselves in med school because we love science so much too. But just to be able to use all of it, it's really been a dream come true. I think Bryan also has like a better description for how the company started, which it's like humble roots of how the company started.
Where was your epiphany moment that said, we need Sketchy in the world?
Oh, yeah, there was definitely an epiphany moment. So it's probably like in Starbucks or something.
Quest, really.
There's this Starbucks right across from UCI where I think all good ideas are born, because Andrew and Saud had this idea of making the learning more accessible to the students because textbook learning is really boring. PowerPoints have been the same as slides, have been the same as lectures and textbooks back to Socrates' time. It's time for something new and interesting.
Socrates would have used
Socrates
PowerPoint.
did not write anything, though.
But he would have used PowerPoint, let's face it.
I mean, he could have used papyrus, but he didn't.
No, he didn't. But he definitely gave lectures. I'm sure it's just like your microbiology lecture that you just had yesterday to whoever's listening. Anyways, so making this idea, the information more accessible visually. And then I was a closet artist, secretly maybe wanted to be a professional artist or animator or something. So I already loved covering my notes in drawings and turning my notes into these scenes and stories. And then so their idea combined with my idea to make it as aesthetically pleasing and to make the stories and drawings as intricate and fun to look at as I could. Kind of that's where we got this idea from. So together we made a few videos, put them on YouTube, but the response we got on YouTube, it was Salmonella and Proteus and Klebsiella. Those were the first three, which I actually drew all by hand myself, which took forever. It was like all Christmas break.
Are those your favorite bacteria?
Those are the ones I don't know.
Which one would you want the most?
It was very stressful. I spent a lot of time on them. I don't know if they're my favorite.
Sorry, you put them on YouTube.
The response was great, and then people were saying, "Oh, if you made a course, like I'd be very interested." And just the positive feedback and advice we got from others, like really inspired us to be like, "Hey, like all these students we're reaching just with these 3 videos, I almost feel more of a creative outlet and more of an impact than just sitting in class all day." So it really inspired us to set aside time every day to work on these videos and actually put them up on a website. And then at first for free, and then people would access them. They got the same amount of feedback, sort of tweaked it until we could actually get an entire course up there and start getting in subscribers to fund our other operations, and just kind of grew from there. But yeah, it was those initial reaction we got from those YouTube videos, which really inspired us.
There's sometimes an overly positive reaction, like, "Hey, I will murder this man to what do you need done
for 15 more videos?"
Yeah,
They got a little too excited.
I did anything too. I graduated instead of going to residency for now. Decided to work in a full time. But it's been as inspiring with all the feedback we continue to get with our 2 full courses we have out now. So yeah, I think the epiphany moment was those first YouTube videos.
Definitely the feedback from people around the world is really what gets us into the office every day to keep doing what we're doing. It literally is how this feedback is telling us, and how do we make our product even better. How do we make sure we're not just selling them a joke and a fun story, but really making sure it's covering everything they need to know and helping them memorize these things in an easier fashion so they can go out and work on other aspects of medicine.
Yeah, we don't want to worry about them memorizing the info or remembering everything. We got you covered.
Yeah, standing in front of a patient going like, "Oh shoot, yeah, H flu, that was like, what if they already knew that?" And then they could say like, "Oh hey patient, I'm going to talk to you because I'm a person."
Yeah, you gotta need more time to learn how to the interworkings of the hospital. It's so stressful. And
oftentimes that's the hardest part.
Yeah,
you're so focused on.
Shouldn't be so worried about remembering the info. So
Yeah.
that's our job. We're there for you guys.
Yeah, leave it to us instead.
It's awesome. So what year did you guys actually launch as a company?
So yeah, I'm trying to remember because it was it was 2013. So
the company itself was people just coming back from class, studying for step 1 and sitting there and thinking of ideas first. Yeah. And then the next year.
So I think that was during our 3rd year.
Yeah, during 3rd year.
It's like the beginning of 3rd year, 2013.
Which sounds impossible, but if you cut out sleep from the equation, then anything's possible.
Yeah, the idea was when we were 2nd years. I think we were officially a company during our 3rd
But
years.
see, now people don't have to do that because you've created the product, so they can continue to sleep.
Yes.
During at least 1st and 2nd year. So
yeah.
All right. So I'm let's say a 2nd year medical student, or just about to start 2nd year, or start studying for step 1. I haven't used Sketchy before. What happens after I get a subscription? Well, first off, you guys offer a free trial of some of the sketches for 2 weeks, if I recall, correct?
Right. And the free trial is mostly there to, it's kind of like a way to introduce you to the style and to see if the way that it's presented to you works for you. In our honest opinion is that it works for pretty much everybody, especially if you figure out a way to, a smart and creative way to compartmentalize information. But of course that can be done in your own, with your own study techniques, but it really is just a way to present to you how each video goes, and then the way we like to help store information for you and have this random access memory.
And if you get the free micro chapter, we give you some high yield ones, like you start with Staph aureus, which is huge. And so hopefully it's really helpful for you to know if the method works for you. And then I think for pharm, you get like the parasympathetic drugs, there's a whole bunch of them, so you can see if the method works for you.
Not just lame drugs like anti-neoplastic.
Yeah. We don't just give them like the antacids or something.
Antacids, like GERD. Yeah. Okay, next.
Yeah, so then hopefully after you experience a couple, then you realize that there's so many more stories that you're missing out on the Wild West and the tuberculosis drugs. And you're missing out on
this summer, Westworld returns.
Like the adventure with vancomycin. So hopefully it inspires you to want to get more stories and to learn in new ways with new stories. And then you experience the rest of the course.
All right, so if somebody hasn't used Sketchy and they're like, by the time this is released, probably 3 to 4 months away from step 1, most people are going to be. How would you incorporate using Sketchy if you have 3 to 4 months left, but you're also trying to do some cardiology study and renal physiology and all the other kind of things that go along with second year?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, honestly, just talk to your peers. You need all of the advice possible. Don't take my word for it. Try to get as many people giving you advice to know what the best schedule is you should set up to study for step 1. Not all schedules work for everyone. Just because someone thinks it's a good idea to do 500 UWorld questions a day does not mean you should, or to watch 20 sketchy videos a day doesn't mean you should. Everyone learns differently. You just got to find a system that works for you. And specifically with Sketchy, it's definitely doable for a 4-month period. You do not want to cram study using Sketchy, since we do try to give you a definitive microbiology or a definitive pharmacology source. And especially pharmacology, you need to start early, because pharm is so important for step 1, and all the side effects and clinical uses of each drug is so extensive.
And interacts with physiology.
Yeah. So I definitely do not recommend putting off studying, just knowing that, I can just watch the videos and everything will be fine. You just do need to sit down and delegate time to make sure that you can focus on the videos and try to understand them and try to get familiar with the symbols. So it does take a while. It's not like the week before you can just watch the videos and it works. I'm trying to think of how many videos there are.
Yeah, that was my next question.
If you had 4 months away, you can watch even like more than one. Each video is like, for pharm, it's probably 5. I mean, for micro, it's probably 5 to 15 minutes, and for pharm, it's probably 10 to 15 minutes for each video. So if you just need a couple a day, and you'll be able to get through both courses definitely, and you'll be able to watch them multiple times. But after watching them multiple times, you have these cool review cards after each video, which you can always go back to and then review whatever symbols you need to remember. Like if you know all this, like side effects is not your problem with drugs. I'm terrible with mechanisms of actions. You just go to the review cards, go quickly through the mechanism of action portion of the sketch and move on to the next one, sort of thing. So, I mean, if you only have 3 months left, like definitely going through each video one time is fine. And then putting those review cards into your routine will work too. But I mean, it's supposed to be a story that you kind of think about and stew and like try to get familiar with the symbols. So it's okay if you just watch it, but then you go really intensely with the UWorlds and the annotating and first aid, and then you go back to the review card and like, oh yeah, what do I remember all these symbols? And try to, when you're doing the UWorld in first aid, try to visualize what you just watched in the video. I think it's a fun background. It's fun to keep our pictures in the background as you're going through the UWorld, and and first aid. But I mean, it's definitely doable. People have to watch the videos and decide how it best fits in their schedule.
Mm-hmm. And I think another important way I've gotten a lot of feedback about is how people use it in class. So it won't necessarily be just before, for the first few or the last few months before the exam, but they've already used it the year before. And when they think of a drug now, they kind of think of most of the picture. And then when it comes to, okay, it's time to schedule my studying for step one. Because, and again, it's kind of like the theme here is that it's not a cramming test. It's more like running a marathon, an event, and then the end of the marathon is step one. It's terrible. It's a terrible finish line, but after your studying schedule. But kind of like after you've used it for a year even, and then the next year when you're kind of preparing for step one is when those pictures kind of come back to you, and then they're in the back of your mind, so that you've kind of always been kind of incorporating these stories whenever you whenever you have to reassociate all these facts you've learned with, we're learning about meningitis again. And so again, the sketchy story comes back to you in your mind. So a lot of students have used it as kind of long-term with their just lectures in preparation, because they know that step one is coming next year. And then a lot of other students too, if they have to schedule before step one and include sketchy medical videos, they will just decide, you look at how long each video is and decide how many they can watch per day. And then with over 200 videos in both courses together, it's watch a couple a day for over a few months to get through all that.
But we do recommend trying to get familiar with the symbols before you go through UWorld and first aid, because it's just so cool when you see the UWorld question, you're already, each buzzword in UWorld reminds you of a symbol. Yeah. So as much familiarity as you can get with the pictures as early as possible is best. Yeah.
And then I would say especially with farm, because it's there's so much more information there.
Yes, absolutely. Any exciting plans for the sketchy group?
Oh my gosh, so secret. To say, or can we just say it's top secret? Can we? Yeah, so we're working.
No, you should give us an exclusive.
I know, exclusive. But can I just whisper it, say to lean really close to their speakers to hear? So we are making a pathology course soon. Yeah. And then we are working on other courses as well that we will announce when it comes closer to their completion. But the potential is endless. We get a lot of feedback from students asking for very specific courses, and we do hear everyone's feedback. And everything is possible.
We love the feedback. We like,
yeah.
Where can they send feedback?
So they can send feedback to info.
Or hate mail.
Yeah, info@sketchymedical.com. That's where we send you the info.
But we also look at the Facebook page. We look at the Instagram page. And oftentimes we and the other person who works in our office with us, Dorothy, will look at it all together. And look at all the feedback that's coming in. We do that every day.
Yeah, but we've heard a lot of people clamoring for this path subject.
It's a big one.
Yeah, we love working on it because it's just going so well, and turning chunks of pathophysiology into stories is just the natural progression too from what we've done so far.
But there's a lot of stuff in the works.
Yeah,
you guys will be really excited when you hear about it.
I can tell he sounds excited. Look at him. It's like,
I mean,
sweating a little bit.
I am. I'm just like bursting with joy to learn more. You guys, thank you. I don't even know if you guys know this, but you agreed to give away a few sketchy T-shirts, or a couple.
One from me and one from Aaron.
Don't wash them because we wore them.
No, we did not wear them.
But yeah, if you leave a review of the podcast and send a screenshot of it to info@InsideTheBoards, you'll be entered to win this episode's contest, which is a, quote, super soft sketchy medical T-shirt.
They feature all of our favorite characters. Our artist slaved
our artist Steven.
Yeah, for weeks on each one. So I think you guys will love it. I think it's allowed during test day. It's allowed in test day. You can just look down. You'll see like a beta blocker there on the shirt.
Don't tell them that.
All the scripts are actually on the inside of the shirt. If you just pull the collar up, they're all there.
You know, with my luck, somebody from the NBME will actually be listening to this. I'll get in trouble somehow, but I think we'll leave it in there, and we'll see if they have the humor to withstand that sort of thing. All right, so last question, because I don't want to take too much more of your time, and this is directed towards Aaron, but who said, "I don't do drugs, I am drugs"?
You know, Salvador Dali has said many crazy things in his life, and I wouldn't put it past him to say that one as well.
I pulled this from the splash screen for the neuropsych portion of your platform, so that's sort of cheating. But
yeah, he's our idol.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Patrick, thank you. Once again, we really, really enjoy talking with just other people who are interested in helping students with the Step 1. It's kind of like our life goal now that we decided to do this. We wish you like the best of luck with this podcast, and hopefully we can help each other just get the word out that Step 1 isn't as bad as it has to be. There are people out there to help.
Losing sleep, just like every time they hear it, they start sweating and their heart rate goes up.
Yeah, but that's okay, because our heart rate goes up too. Just trying to think of new ways to help you guys. So it's been an honor to speak with you. Thank you so much for allowing us to speak with you today. Thank you for your service. Thank you for actually being a doctor still, and working really, really hard every day to treat patients as well as help out the students with the podcast. So you are a
appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely a superhero. And I also just want to say thank you and thanks for your time. And Dorothy told us about your experience in the armed forces, and we want to thank you very much for your service.
Yeah. And
you're just a role model in so many ways, especially because we know so much about what it means to be an OBGYN. and everyone can just remember that Step 1 is a lot of like little facts. So it's a lot of facts, not necessarily hard facts. So hopefully find your way of compartmentalizing all these little facts.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks, guys. All right, don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at Boards Insider, or on Facebook or Instagram at Inside the Boards. We love to hear your questions, suggestions for the podcast, and any feedback you have to help make this show better and to meet your needs. Our Step 1 Study Smarter series is going to run through May. We're focusing all the content on COMLEX Level 1 and USMLE Step 1 material, and we've got some notable companies and personalities who are going to help us cover the essential highest yield topics as a way of helping you review first and second year material on the go. The focus is going to be on high-yield multiple-choice question dissections, so just look for the episodes tagged with Step 1 Study Smarter series. And because we want to get as many people as possible listening, we ask and would appreciate if you would tell your friends. If you share the show on social media by tagging at Boards Insider on Twitter or at Inside the Boards on Instagram or Facebook, you'll be entered to win a $50 Amazon gift card. This contest will run through sometime in May, so take the time to tell others. And speaking of giveaways, if you leave a review of this episode and send the screenshot to podcast@insidetheboards.com, you'll be entered to win the current contest, which is one of the super soft SketchyMedical T-Shirts, thanks to Bryan and Aaron from Sketchy. Thanks to James from 2 O'Clock Courage for letting us use an excerpt from the Valentine Blast Furnace off the 2016 album Missalette. 2 O'Clock Courage is the best band you've never heard of. You can listen to their music on Spotify and follow them on Twitter at 2 O'Clock Courage. That's at the number 2 O'Clock Courage. Thanks, guys, for letting us use the song. We really appreciate it.
Inside the Boards is in no way affiliated with the United States Medical Licensing Examination, Comprehensive Osteopathic Medical License Examination, National Board of Medical Examiners, the National Council of State Boards of Nursing, National Board of Osteopathic Medical Examiners, or any other licensing or examination body. All exam names and other trademarks are the property of the respective trademark owners. Content discussed during the program is the property of Inside the Boards or the attributed trademark owner and may not be reproduced without permission from the appropriate entity. Inside the Boards fully adheres to the respective policies on irregular behavior outlined by the aforementioned credentialing bodies.